Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today is February 8th, 2025. It's my birthday, and I actually meant to do this video yesterday, um, but yesterday got so crazy. I started at, I believe it was like 6 a.m. yesterday morning and went on through the day. Got a load. I thought, well, maybe I'll get to it, in the afternoon, but then I got a load at 4:30 and went back and forth with the customer until about 10 after 9, and they ended up canceling the load on us that was supposed to pick up today. So it is what it is, right? Anywho, so I've had a lot of questions from, people within my network and things on, what's the future of freight, the trucking industry in 2025, right? Well, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. One thing that I think, a couple of things I think that are probably really going to happen, kind of looking at data, what's going on with, the tariffs and everything, is I do think that as produce season kicks off, we probably will start to see a bit of an uptick across certain equipment types, namely reefer, vented van, that type of thing. I do think overall we probably will see a bit of a slowdown in freight. There's going to be less consumer discretionary spending. So, I think that, like I said, overall, I think that we will see a slowdown, but overall, we need to just control what we can control, right? And some of those things might be, they are, focus on building your network, right? Reinforce your existing relationships with your customers, your carriers. If you're a broker, if you're a carrier, reinforce those relationships with your broker and your direct customers. Okay. Network. If you're not already a member of the group, I advise you to join. I have multiple lanes that I'm working on. Some of it's projects, some of it's year round. So if you're a bonded dry van carrier that loads out of Cali or Illinois, hit me up. Okay. I'm looking to, build some new relationships there. That being said, focus on things that you can do to minimize your cost, right? Maybe, we all know that insurance is one of those big whammies that can hit us. And so, maybe shop around and see if you get a better rate on your insurance. What is your factoring company doing for you, right? Maybe you're getting a rate at 2% or something, but they're not really doing anything more for you other than processing that paperwork, right? Which is, again, why I recommend Operfi, because they provide you with so many resources and tools and advice and things to help you grow, right? And that's one of the things that I think that, across our industry, whether you're a carrier or a broker, your customer success is your success, right? Because as your customers grow, you grow, the new lane opportunities and things like this. So things to kind of focus on, right? Carriers, reinforce those relationships with your brokers. Like I said, brokers, reinforce those relationships with your carriers and your customers. We are still in a bit of an overcapacity, right? And as freight slows down, I think, it will, at least at a minimum, it will taper off some. I don't have exact numbers for you. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think that that's something that we can all expect. So, do what you can do, that's within your control. I think that we'll probably continue to see capacity fall off as the market kind of comes into a rebalance of things. So essentially, it's kind of like it's it's going to continually maybe get a little bit worse before it gets better. Um, you know, I think there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Like I said, with produce season kicking off and things like this, there'll be tax cuts for American-made products, right? So there's already companies talking about, yeah, we can easily come back and manufacture in the U.S., right? They're going to be after those tax cuts. So I think that's something to look forward to. And I think that it's important to pay attention to what companies are either building maybe new facilities to start manufacturing. Maybe they're buying an existing facility and they're remodeling it, updating it, whatever. I've actually got hooked up with in the past with customers that opened up a new facility or bought an existing facility and they, revamped it, added on, did whatever. So there was a lot of trucks bringing in materials, right? A lot of your building materials, wire, copper, bricks, lumber, you name it, right? There was all of that's involved. So if you're a dry van carrier or a flatbed carrier, open deck, I would maybe, look into that and what areas, those might be needed in. You know, so I think that there's opportunities where we find it. And when you can, you know, locate those opportunities and capitalize on them, the effects of the economy and things won't be as much of a hiccup or a strain on your bottom line as they, potentially could if you're just out there willy-nilly running the spot market, right? So if you do, you're probably going to be in some trouble. So like I said, control what you can control, right? That's what this channel's all been about, is building relationships and networking and doing, it's not just, oh, well, we need to do this to minimize our costs and da 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 da. It's implementing all the tools and services that truly help us succeed, right? Having like eCarrierCheck. That's why I have a couple, like, 3 down below that are my favorites, right? Because those are tools and services that, attribute to our success. So that's why I recommend them. Love Operfi, eCarrierCheck, DAT, and in some cases, like the DAT, if you need the 10% off, I'll have links in the description for everybody down below. But again, control what you can control. Okay. I don't think it's time to panic or anything like that right now. I think that it's, this is really a time when we need to capitalize on building relationships and things like that. Like I said, locating those opportunities that are out there, right? Maybe switching gears in our head, maybe diversifying your book of business, things like that. I would make prospecting a priority if you're a broker or an asset-based carrier. I know that can be a little bit difficult for some of you owner operators, and if you've got less than 10 trucks, but that's where, again, reinforce those relationships. If you've got a favorite broker that you work with, that is regularly offering you freight, hey, go for it. I've seen market rate on some of the lanes that we're running, because I still check in from time to time, even with our dedicated stuff, just to kind of see what market rate is, on the spot market. And I've seen it drop, but we're still paying our carriers the same, right? So again, those relationships work. Could I yank that freight away from them and play the spot market? Probably, but I won't do it, because, when we get to that point to where capacity drops, right, we might end up, it might be coming into, the other way, where we end up, once freight rebounds, then we get into a situation where, oh, you're scrambling to get a truck. Well, those relationships, right? It's going to behoove you to have those relationships with your carriers and vice versa, to keep them on your freight, right? And all of this, your carrier relationships will help you build your customer relationships. If you've got good quality drivers that you work with, um, again, it's going to behoove you in the long run. I can't stress that enough. Having the right tools, resources, network across the board, that's what's going to help you not only survive, but thrive any downturn in the market that we could potentially face, right? I know that we were all kind of looking at 2025 as our year, right? And initially looking at the data, I think, several months ago, we were looking at things as, yeah, we'll see an uptick in the market. It'll be, not uber significant, but it'll come, and eventually, it'll continually rise. But I think that while the economy adjusts and all of this, I think it's imperative that again, we control what we can control. So yeah, build your relationships, reinforce relationships, work on new relationships, prospect, because the larger your book of business, the larger your network, you will, again, not only thrive not only survive but thrive. Okay. And that's about all I can tell you right now. Like I said, I wish I had some concrete numbers and exactly what's going to happen. We can speculate, but I don't think that, and there's some differing opinions, right? Whether you agree with the tariffs, if you're against the tariffs, it doesn't really matter. They're there, right? So again, that's why I say control what you can control, right? Whether you're a mom and pop brokerage or an owner operator, all the way up to, if you've got a fleet of 1,000 trucks or something, or you're in a very large brokerage. Okay. So yeah, just, I guess more words of advice than anything. Right. And this is something really overall, regardless of what the market's doing, or the economy, that we should be doing anyway. Right. Because as you all know, it's kind of like a wave, right? We hit that ebb and flow typically about every 3 to 3.5 years. Obviously, back when there was COVID, that kind of threw a wrench in the gears, right? If for some of you that might remember that, but this is where we capitalize on new opportunities, so that when we do, we hit that peak with the market, and before it comes back down, we're prepared for it, right? Saving for a rainy day, until things kind of come back around and balance and back up again. So yeah, maybe I should have titled this video "Control What You Can Control in Trucking" or something. I don't know. Maybe you guys have some advice on some better titles for me, but again, just do what you can, right? Like I said, just take care of that, and all will be good. Just apologize, I didn't turn my phone off, and I'm getting umpteen text messages in. But again, if you're a drive-in carrier, refrigerated carrier, and you want to hook up on some freight with me, again, I've got some new opportunities that are coming up. Some probably around the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter. We're exploring some new opportunities there. So and it's kind of some of my customers are waiting to do their RFQs until that time and everything. Some have been going through some administration changes, right? For upper level, new ownership, new this and that. So we're looking into that. We're staying active with it, and like I said, we've got a lot of freight opportunities coming up, right? But that's because, once again, we network. We're constantly prospecting, right? My team is adding new customers and getting in freight, requests for, project freight, year-round freight. So it works, right? We're proof that it works. Me and my team are proof. So again, shout out to Lonnie and James for everything that you guys are doing. I appreciate you, and I think that, like I said, keeping a pulse on the economy and everything, looking out for those maybe not so obvious opportunities, um, you know, can mean a great deal of success in 2025. It's all in how you look at it, right? So that being said, again, I apologize I didn't get this video out yesterday for you guys. It was just, this whole week has been crazy, and everything. I actually wanted to get one out Wednesday as well, but better late than never, right? Um, and I'll do my best to. I have an appointment Monday. I'll probably be out most of the morning into mid afternoon. But aside from that, I'll try to get one out Monday afternoon, or I'll do another one tomorrow and schedule it for Monday. That, or at the very latest, you'll see me Tuesday. Okay. All right. Have a good weekend, everybody. And we'll talk to you later. Bye bye now.